Grey Goose is here, man. The Grey Goose has arrived, man. New fish on the yard. How you doing, man? They call me Big Rufus, man. I've been here for a long time. You need anything? Zoom, zooms, wham, wham, cakes, noodles, sodas, what have you. I'm the store, man. Come and holler at me, man. And I got you. I take care of you. Hey, Big Rufus. Can I come in? Can I come in? Yeah, I you know, my money, I'm waiting on my parents to send my money or what have you, my money order. Is there any way I can get some, you know, couple noodles, couple sodas, and, you know, couple honey buns, and, you know, and I'll pay you back next week? Hey, I really appreciate that, Big Rufus, man. Here's everything that I owe you, man. And I threw some extra in there for you just for, you know, you being patient with me, man. Here's everything that I owe you back in commissary, Big Rufus. Thanks, Big Rufus. Yeah, you gave me everything I needed back, but these ain't the type of cakes and zoom zooms and wham whams I need back. These ain't the type of cakes that I need back. Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kens TV in the motherfucking house like kitchen sinks. You know, oftentimes, man, you know, I drop these prison videos and, you know, just try to enlighten you individuals that never been to prison, to say the least, as far as how prison really is, and the intricacies of prison, and the miseries of experiencing that terrible experience. But it seems as though no matter what content I drop, the Booty Bandit stories always seem to get the most interest. I don't understand. But when you've been in that environment and you see that disgusting, that just horrific scenery, it's not something that you necessarily want to always discuss. But however, I am for the people. You know what I mean? And I do keep it real. Real Kens TV 859. So I got to keep it real with you and tell you all these stories, because after all, these are the stories that you all desire. Not everyone, but these are the stories that people are really intrigued about. Not that they want to hear about like specific, you know, booty bandit encounters, but it's just more so of, wow, how did you survive that? How were you able to come, you know, out of that or what have you? Most of the time, it's not even really like that, for real. I mean, prison is violent. It's again, it's horrific. It's not a good place, a great place. It's not any place to be. But a lot of times, you mind your business, you're going to be cool. You might have to scrap a little bit, throw them things or whatever, throw them hands every once in a while, just to show somebody that, hey, man, I'm not the one. Win or lose, you stood up for yourself. But it's not like TV. Dudes ain't just, you know, just randomly being, this is YouTube, so exploited, raped. In the words of the great Fleece Johnson and Big Lee. Y'all go check out Fleece Johnson and Big Lee, Hustle Spirit 502. So it's not like dudes are just getting raped every day. But however, I'm going to tell you all the story of Big Rufus, a notorious booty bandit. Now, I've told the story of Big Rufus before. I went back and I looked at some of my prior videos, and it was about a year ago. I was very new to YouTube, and I told the story, but I didn't really elaborate on a lot of things, and I didn't tell you all the full context of the story. I just kind of gave you an outline of the story. Big Rufus. Rock with me, ride with me. For you all, man, get to the story. Hey, listen, man. This is Real Kens TV, and I go by the viewers, what they like. They like the longer videos. So guess what? We make the longer videos. You know what I mean? The longer content. I don't get out here and do 12, 13-minute videos. No. 30 minutes or more. You know? So if you're riding, if you're trying to go to sleep, if you're on your shift, going to work, coming home from work, or you just feel like hearing a good YouTube legitimate story, where I don't make up stories, over 10 years served in the motherfucking Department of Corrections in Kentucky, you at the right channel. Now, I don't say that to brag, because, I mean, when you really think about it, like, there's nothing to brag about. I did 10 years in the Department of Corrections. What is there to brag about? But nevertheless, let's get back to the lecture at hand, if you will. Big Rufus. Big motherfucking Rufus, man. Big Rufus, man, about 6'2", 6'3". I don't know the exact specs, pause, But I know he was roughly about 6'2", 6'3", dark-skinned brother. Had a little short haircut, like a mini afro. Had to have weighed, I'm not really good with guessing people's weight. Had to have weighed about 245, 250. Big dude. Been locked up 15, 16, 20 years. Something right around that range. Now, when I say that, this is way back in 2002, maybe. Somewhere right around 2001, 2002. Because it was my first time being incarcerated as a young guy in the Department of Corrections. Hell, it was my first time being incarcerated, period. I didn't grow up getting in trouble like going to juvenile centers and things like that. I started being a knucklehead when I was a young man. Wasn't ready to handle life. I came into a large sum of money, and I was accustomed to having, $60,000, $70,000 under my mattress or what have you. And once that money was gone, guess what? Man, I needed that lifestyle back. So I turned to the street. I turned to crime, But Big Rufus was a very, very, he didn't say much. I don't necessarily want to say he was quiet, but he just didn't say much. So let me tell you about Big Rufus. When he's walking the track, when he's on the yard, the track is something that, inmates typically, if you've been incarcerated, I walk the track, I walk the loop or whatever, but it's a big old track around the prison. And you'll walk the track sometimes for hours, just talking about, how you got into prison, what you're going to do when you get out, the things that you're experiencing, your girl's not writing you or coming to visit you, or you haven't seen your kids, or just whatever the scenario may be, you discuss it on that track. You will see Big Rufus out on the yard, and he stayed in the weight pile. Now, when I say he stayed in the weight pile, at this particular time, you didn't have to have a job in prison. He had a job, but you weren't required to have a job. So now I really think about that, I don't even know why I said that, because he had a job. But I'm like, well, you weren't required to have a job. But why did that really matter? Because he had a job. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, Big Rufus, he worked in the kitchen. So he would come out in the mornings, hit that weight pile. First thing in the morning. I'm talking about the yard opens early in prison. Some places I've seen the yard open at 5:30 a.m. Weight piles typically outside. You go out there and you hit that steel, man. They had the free weights then, man. So everything was steel. So you go out there, you hit that steel, you hit that iron or whatever. Come back in, go do whatever you need to do. He would go work his shift in the kitchen. Come back at noon or right around lunchtime, somewhere like after he worked the lunch shift or what have you. Come back and work out again. That was his bar work. When I say bar work, pull-ups, dips. I'm sorry, I said that wrong, so let's rewind it. He would come back and do that bar work. Push-ups, pull-ups, and dips. Everything on the bar is bar work. In the mornings, like I said, he may have done whatever, say shoulders, chest, whatever. He did that in the morning. Come back in the afternoon, hit that bar work. And then in the evening, guess what? He's coming back doing his legs, but he's not doing legs every day. He's working out 5 or 6 days a week. He's not doing legs every day. He's going to hit legs twice a week, but then he's running like 5 miles. He's hitting that track, man, getting his cardio up, man. He's playing handball. He's doing anything that he can possibly do to stay ready. Because if you stay ready, what's the additive they say? You don't got to get ready. Big Rufus, definitely stay ready. Rock with me, man. Rock with me. Pause, though. Pause. Let me pause that. Big Rufus was a guy, man, that he always wore dark shades, and he always had his state jacket on. It was odd. I never seen anything like this before. Well, I'd never been in prison before, but seeing this really made me like, oh, man, that guy's crazy. Not as though I would say anything to anyone anyway, but it's like, man, this guy's crazy. He always wore a state jacket. Now, your state jacket is just a regular coat. It's a khaki-colored coat where it has my Papa John's right here. It has his name and his inmate number underneath it. The same color khaki toboggan. He'd always wear it. Well, real Kens, what's wrong with that? I'm not necessarily saying anything was wrong with it, but you got to understand, like, when it's 90 degrees outside and 85 and 86 degrees, and you see a guy walking around with a state coat on and he never takes it off, even when he's working out, No matter what, you never seen this guy take his state coat off as far as like outside. Most of the time inside, you didn't see him take it off. It kind of alarms you. It is a red flag. It's like, whoa, that guy, man, he's not playing with a full deck. He's not the one to really mess with. Forearms, man. He would have his state coat off because he had to take it off when he worked in the kitchen. He served the food. Man. His forearms look like Popeye, man. Popeye the Sailor Man, like big old forearms. Like the dude was just genetically blessed, like it was huge. As I mentioned, he'd been locked up 15, 16 years, maybe even 20. I don't remember the exact number, but it's right around 15 to 20 years that he had been locked up. So I'm guessing at the time he was probably 37, 38. Wasn't really an old guy. Like I said, in shape, had a long beard. Kept a long beard and he kept it braided up. So his beard would come way down to here, but it's braided, you know. He had a bald head and just didn't really say much whatsoever. Big Rufus, though. You quickly learn who Big Rufus was. Big Rufus loved white boys. No disrespect to anybody, no disrespect to the white boys, no, but it is what it is, man. You got to call a spade a spade. He loved the white boys. When you came off the bus, which was the Gray Goose in the state of Kentucky, that's what we call it. When you go into the joint, the penitentiary, the pen, you on that Gray Goose. When you get off the Gray Goose, everybody, because you know when the inmates are going to arrive. There's certain days to where, okay, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm just saying these days out of the, you know, it's somewhere like that, something like that rather. But let's say Tuesdays and Thursdays, the Gray Goose is going to arrive. You already know, okay, we got 37 inmates coming on Tuesday and we got 16 inmates coming on Thursday. People's posted. They posted to see who's coming. Because you'll see a list and you'll see their names, but oftentimes you might not recognize an actual name because dudes on the streets, they go by, you know, little Ray, little mop head, pistol starter, you know what I'm saying, little trigger finger, whatever. So you don't really know their real names oftentimes. So you got the guys and they sitting back and they waiting. You get off at bus at Gray Goose or what have you. It's one of the most intimidating things because when you get off and you going into the property room, you got all these inmates sitting there looking at you. So if you don't know nobody, it's a very, very intimidating thing. Now, if you from the streets or you've been in them streets and people know you, what's up, my dog? Yeah, you with us. You come with us or whatever. You feel a little at ease, a lot more at ease, rather. But let's just say you don't have any affiliation with any gangs or any street dealings or ties or what have you. You just end up getting caught up and you're in the penitentiary and don't nobody know who you are. You getting off at Gray Goose and it's just like, you know, what's up, homie? You know, they looking at you looking at them or whatever. You trying to, you know, not be hard or try to act hard. You're trying not to be intimidated, look intimidated. But you got gorillas, man. Lions, tigers, and bears, as I often say, man. They looking at you, man. They looking at you. What's up, man? Y'all remember Damon from Friday? What's up? Craig and Day Day. Just the two niggas I want to see. Give me a hug, man. Goof hug, nigga. That's just how it is, man. Excuse my French, but, you know, we keeping it real. Real Kids TV. That's how it is. Now, they might not necessarily, you know, ask you for a hug or not right off top, but that's the demeanor that you're gonna get. So you go in, you know, you go into R&D or whatever, which is where it's called R&D, the property room, whatever you want to call it. You get your property, you get your all your state issued property, your blankets, your mat, your you know, your socks, your boxers, your uniforms, your jackets, your toboggan, everything. Actually, toboggan, they make you buy. That's some BS, but they make you buy the toboggan. It's like $5 on commissary. But at any rate, you definitely want to have a toboggan. You go through R&D. Once you get checked out, process, what have you, in R&D, that's going to take a few hours, a couple hours, depending on how many people came. Then you're assigned a dorm. You go to your dorm. Well, you got Big Rufus just sitting back in the cut. He ain't saying a word. He's sitting back in the cut like this. Just watching, evaluating the situation. Because Big Rufus knew who to try. Big Rufus was only going to try the guys, and this is not a knock on him. So Big Rufus, if you're watching, man, I don't know if you remember me. I was a little young cat back then or whatever. But, you know, Big Rufus, no disrespect. Now I've heard Fleece Johnson mention Big Rufus just as well. So ask Fleece. If y'all don't believe me, you all that go to Hustle Spirit 502, featuring Fleece Johnson and Big Lee. Next time you're on his live and he's answering questions or what have you, say, man, what about Big Rufus, Fleece? So I never met Fleece in the joint because he was at Eddyville, he was in Max a lot of the times, and I'm glad I didn't meet Fleece in the joint. But I'm just saying, I definitely met and ran across Big Rufus. So Big Rufus, as I was mentioning, he sit back and evaluate and watch to see who you's around, who you rolling with. Are you going to the store on a regular basis, the commissary? Because the commissary in prison, if ain't nobody sending you no money, you can't go and buy nothing. So ain't nobody really trying to mess with a broke person like that. I mean, they will, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, people prey on you. They're going to, okay, this guy goes to the store and he's coming back with a big bag, so I know he done spent $100. Now at the time, I think you could only spend like $100 a week, $125 or whatever. He's coming back with big groceries. So somebody's looking out for him. He got some money, so this is the guy we gonna prey on. This is the individual that, we're going to push up on, if you will. Big Rufus sits back. Big Rufus had a reputation. Like I said earlier, he loved the white boys. He stepped to him. Hey, how you doing? Now, the way that he talked, he had a distinct voice. Because as I mentioned, this guy was like 6'2", 240, 250, somewhere right around that range. Huge forearms, big shoulders. Just a big dude. Been locked up for a lot of years. Was quiet. Didn't say too much. Hey, how you doing, man? I'm Big Rufus. I know how it is when you first arrive to prison. So check this out, man. If you need anything, Big Rufus is a store man. The store man means he's loaning out. He got noodles. He got Zoom Zooms. He got Wham Whams. He got cakes. He got sodas, honey buns. Whatever you need, deodorant, soap, he got it. You get one item from him, he needs 2 back. You get 2 items from him, he needs 3 back. You get 5 items, or 3 items, he needs 5 back. You get 5 items, he needs 8 back, and so on and so on. Big Rufus was a businessman. You come to see Big Rufus. Now, everybody can't be a businessman. He ran tickets, which means he ran the parlay tickets and the gambling, and he had a store. Everybody can't do the things that Big Rufus did, and he sold cigarettes. You couldn't do those things if you was just an average Joe, because guess what? People going to take advantage of you. They're not going to pay you back. They're going to come and borrow a bunch of stuff until you get it off the roof. Get it off the roof in prison means get it off the roof, man. Climb the highest tower, and that's where the items that I owe you, it's where it's at. So go climb it, and that's where you can get it. Basically, you're not getting it back, respectfully. So Big Rufus was a well-respected dude. Now, he did what he did. He liked what he liked. But nobody ever tried Big Rufus. Like I said, he barely even talked. But they knew Big Rufus, man, he wasn't the guy to mess with. He wasn't the guy to try. So, he would tell the little young guys that he was interested in or what have you. He would tell everybody. But there were certain people that he would really, really take a liking to. What's the old saying? You get more bees with honey. Now, Big Rufus wasn't one of them type guys that would just come and knock you out. Now, back in the day, the 70s, the 80s, early 90s, man, you had Fast Eddie. Ask Fleece Johnson about Fast Eddie. You had guys that would just take it. Oh, you just gonna take it, huh? Yup. We're just gonna take it. So they gonna come and knock you straight out and have their way with you. Big Rufus was a little bit more smooth than that, That wasn't his thing. He gonna finesse you. He gonna wine and dine you. He's really, really gonna try to will you in. So the thing about a booty bandit in prison, you got some booty bandits that look a particular way. They really look scary. They're in the, if you see the thumbnails or the pictures online or what have you, they really, really look like, damn, I could see him being a booty bandit. But then you got some that's smooth and just laid back and, don't really look like booty bandits. But a lot of them really be booty bandits. Big Rufus, yeah, man, I know how it is, man, when you first come to prison, man, you know what I'm saying, and anything you need, man, anything, I'm not on no funny stuff, man, I just try to help the young people, man, keep them out of here. He was real smooth as far as his approach, the way that he talked. One particular situation that I never will forget. It was a young man, same thing that I just mentioned. Came in, young white dude. May have been 22, 23. evidently he didn't have, I'm not going to say he didn't have anyone looking out for him, but oftentimes when you originally arrive in prison, sometimes you don't have anything. Maybe you spent everything, or you ate everything up, because food in prison is money. Maybe you're waiting on your family to send you the money. They sent you the money, then you got transferred, and then the money has to catch up with you, because back then in 2001, 2002, they didn't have JPay. JPay now, you can just get right in on the app, upload your information or whatever, and then 15, 20 minutes later, boom, the money's on the books. No, my friend, not in 2001. Guess what? It had to be a money order, and it had to be a postal money order. So you can tell your family, your friends, your loved ones 1,000 times, listen, I appreciate you sending me this money, but make sure it's a postal money order. It has to be from the post office. If it's not from the post office, they'll take it back. So what ends up happening is you done went to Big Rufus. You done been to Fleece Johnson or Big Rufus, a ruthless guy that's in prison, a known guy that's respected in prison, and you done got some items from him, but your moms or your pops or a trusted family member said, man, I sent this money off to you. So you know that it's coming. Now, you're not understanding that it's coming on a turtle. You don't know that it's coming on a snail, but you know it's coming. But you think that it's going to arrive way, way quicker. And typically it would. It's only one problem. One problem. They didn't go to the post office and get the money order the way that you told them that they had to get. So when you finally reach them and you talk to them, hey, moms, hey, dad, hey, baby, wifey, whoever it is, I thought you sent the money. I did send it. I sent it 5 days ago. You sent it 5 days ago? What? Well, when I got off work, the post office, the line was too long, or the post office was closed. I got off late or whatever, so I just went to Speedway or Thornton's and got the money order. Oh, why did you do that? I told you had to get it from the... Yeah, but I didn't really think it, made a difference. The post office is the money order is a money order. No! Not with the Department of Corrections now. You really can't get filed. You can't be upset because the individual didn't have to send you nothing. You know what I mean? So let's allow that to be understood. They didn't have to send you nothing. But you get a little frustrated because, for one, you specifically told them and you stressed to them. So when you're telling them to go to the post office, I know, I got it. You don't got to tell me no more. I got you. Don't got me, get me. Understand? Let's rewind. I got you. Don't got me. Get me. Respectfully. Because, again, nobody owe you nothing. But I'm just saying, when I'm telling you these things, understand what I'm telling you. I'm telling you for a reason. So now, you owe this store man money. You told him that the money will be there, on Friday. It's already been 5 or 6 days. But now it's going to be another 5 or 6 days. Because they have to go back to the post office, get the money order, send it through the mail. Then when they send it, depending on the people that's in the office that processes the money in the administration building, a lot of times they pretty good at if it arrives on, let's just say, Monday morning, they'll typically process it. But some people's lazy, or they might be on vacation or out sick, or whatever the case may be. So it may not be added to your books until Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday. Every day that you're late, interest is piling up. What are you going to tell Big Rufus I ain't paying you? Your money finally hits. You happy. You got a couple $100. You can go to the commissary. You can go get the things that you want to get. You don't got to borrow from nobody no more. You go to Big Rufus. Now, this individual that I'm talking of, and I keep it real on my channel. I don't be remembering everybody's name. So many people that you run across in prison, and it's so many years ago that I encountered these encounters. I don't always remember people's names. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. But even when I do, sometimes I use the real name, and sometimes I choose not to use the real name. So we're just going to call this individual here, let's see, TJ. Not JT. We'll call this individual JT. So JT, and it's close to what his actual real name was. JT goes to Big Rufus. Big Rufus, man, what's up, man? I'm sorry I took so long. You know how it is, man. You tell your people send a postal money order, and they send another money order, and you got to wrestle and go back and forth with them. But nevertheless, I got everything that I owe you. Now, JT, or did I say TJ? Damn, I done forgot which. Is it JT or is it TJ? You know what? We're just gonna call him, we're just gonna call him. That's crazy, man. And I'm not gonna edit this out. I'm gonna leave all of this in because I can't remember if I said JT or TJ. Sometimes in my stories, man, I kind of get lost and caught up in my stories. So we'll just use a simple name. Mikey. Mikey. We'll call him Little Mikey. Okay? Rock with me, roll with me, understand where I'm going with this story, because it really don't matter what the name is. It's the actual story that makes the most sense, if you will. So Little Mikey, man, he's all excited to go and pay his debts back. He done probably borrowed like $15, so he probably owes back, I don't know, $100. Nah, the interest is not that bad in prison. It can get that bad though, like in due time, if additional interest is put on because you didn't pay back when you said you was gonna pay it back. But Big Rufus was a rather reasonable guy, to say the least. So let's just say Mikey, little Mikey borrowed $15. He probably owed back like $30, $25, $30. So he brings everything in to Big Rufus or whatever. He got a big old bag because you got noodles. Noodles at the time was like 30, 40 cents. The ramen noodles, 30, 40 cents. Got some sodas, got some honey buns, got some, a whole bunch of, Mikey loves sweets. So like a whole bunch of cakes, chocolate cakes and lemon cakes and things of that nature, just popcorn or whatever. So he brings the bag in to Big Rufus. Big Rufus, okay, well, he goes through it, looks, make sure everything is everything. All right, Big Rufus, man, I'm gonna check you later, man. Now, Big Rufus was in a cell. He had 2-man cells at this particular time. Big Rufus was in a cell by himself because they never could keep anybody in the cell with this monster, this gorilla. Still was a gorilla, man. He was soft-spoken. He was cool. Well, I'm just saying, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how he really, really talked. So once Big Rufus went through everything, made sure that everything was everything as far as with, what he was owed, Mikey think he just gonna walk out the door. Hold on, man. So, Mikey, what's going on, Big Rufus? Now, Mikey done got a little bit more, not necessarily cocky, but a little bit more confident. He done been on the yard for a little bit, a few weeks or whatever. He done met a couple people. He's learning the ropes or what have you. So his demeanor is a little bit more, he's a little bit more confident, I guess, lack of better terms, because opposed to when he initially walked on the yard from day one, he didn't know anybody. He didn't know what was going to go on. Man, this ain't everything. This ain't everything. What you mean, Big Rufus? I got you your Zoom Zooms, your Wham Whams. I got you your sodas. I got you your noodles. I got you the popcorns. Everything that I owed you, the candy, the cakes. Your cakes. Did you see the cakes that I got you? I even threw you a couple extra cakes in there. I'm just saying, man, yeah, you got me the cakes, but Big Rufus, this ain't the type of cakes that Big Rufus want back. I'm not really following you, Big Rufus. What do you mean this is not the type of case? I'm just saying, man, this is not the, Big Rufus, he get excited, so his voice, I'm just saying, this is not the type of cakes that Big Rufus, was really looking for, I need some different type of cakes, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. Oh, Big Rufus. I think you got, all due respect, I think you have me a little bit misconstrued. You got me confused. I don't rock that way, man. You know what I mean? I don't go that way. That's not the direction that I swing in, man. You told me that everything that I got you, or that I borrowed from you, this is the amount. I gave you the amount plus over that amount. So I don't understand what, any of this is about. I'm just saying, you think you just gonna come in here and just run this prison, man? I've been in this prison 15, 20 years, you know what I'm saying? Big Rufus is gonna get his. Big Rufus is gonna get his. Look, Big Rufus, man, I'll check you later. You ain't just walking out that cell, man. Not just walking out that cell. Big Rufus grabbed Big Mikey up. You got your state uniforms on, right? He grabbed him by the back of his collar. Now, Big Rufus really wasn't even no violent dude. He was a big dude, like I mentioned, strong dude, but he wasn't really no violent dude. But at the same time, he wasn't gonna allow little Mikey to walk out of that cell like that. He grabs little Mikey. Come here, man. Come here, man. We gonna talk this out, man. Now, I wasn't in the cell. This is just stories that I hear. But I tend to believe, for the simple fact that after that day, it would never be the same for little Mikey on the yard again. About a week later, you see little Mikey. It wasn't even a week later. It was probably, we'll just say a week. Little Mikey moves into the cell with Big Rufus. As I mentioned, it's 2-man cells. But in prison, unless you're like at Eddyville, somewhere like that, where Fleece Johnson was at, it's a 1-man cell. Everywhere else is going to be a 2-man cell. He never could keep a cellie. He was too big. He was too intimidating. He was too, nobody wanted to stay in the cell with him. And he liked that. He loved to be in the cell by himself unless he can get that special individual, such as little Mikey, in the cell with him. You see little Mikey moving the cell. They together. That's his boo. That's his boo-nopolis. As Big Rufus now has a boo. Little Mikey. 22, 23-year-old white boy. Shave his face. I don't want no hair. I don't want no facial hair. Shave your legs. You're not going to leave his cell. You sit in this cell. You ain't got to go to child hall. You ain't got to do none of that. Big Rufus, man, gonna say today, Big Rufus got you, baby. I'm just saying, man, I'm a gorilla, man, but I'm a soft gorilla, man. I'm a gentle giant. That's how, I'm just saying, Big Rufus. Mikey, little Mikey, could rarely leave the cell. He'd go to his little classes once he signed up for the classes or what have you. But outside of that, ain't no leaving this cell. And if we go to the child hall, we're going to the child hall together. You sit at this table and you keep your head down. You better not look at nobody. Better not catch you looking at nobody. Now I'm speaking in the terms of the voice of Big Rufus, but a lot of booty bandits, not myself. So let that be known. Painting a picture for you all so you can actually understand how serious this really, really is. So Mikey, he belonged to Big Rufus, man. Like I said, if he wanted to go out on the yard, he had to get permission. If he wanted to go lift weights, which is technically the same thing as out on the yard. If he wanted to go use the phone, if he went to the shower, guess what? You're not going to the shower without Big Rufus, man. Said this dude was a gorilla. Now, you would see him without his jacket on when he worked his job in the kitchen or sometimes in the dorm or whatever. You would see him. This dude, man, was nothing to play with, man. Nothing to play with. Just imagine a person being locked up 15, 16 years, 20 years, and they've been working out the entire time, man, just frustrated. I don't know how much time Big Rufus had. I don't know. But this dude was a real live gorilla, man, a penitentiary gorilla, man. He take the 125-pound dumbbells and get on the incline and just press it for like 30s like it wasn't nothing on the incline. 125-pound dumbbells, each arm, each dumbbell. And he's pressing it like it's nothing, man. Just pressing it up. Dude's traps sit way, like, traps is just crazy. Like I said, big old forearms. He's cut up. He's, man, it's crazy. Little Mikey's a little dude, man. He ain't no big dude. 5'8" at best. 160 pounds, man. What's he gonna do, with this gorilla? He don't want little Mikey really working out. Now, if he allows him to work out, it's not gonna be anything to where you're gonna put on weight because he wants him to remain feminine. Which, I don't understand that because you're not feminine. You're a dude. You're not feminine. But he don't want him with all these bulky muscles and all these things. Oh, he let him do some squats, some squizzots. Yeah, he let him go in there and do some squats. But outside of that, man, he didn't really want, Mikey getting buff. Let him tone up or what have you. And that's, in a sense, how you can be in prison and find yourself taken by a booty bandit. In this particular case, the infamous Big Rufus. Big Rufus didn't play no games, man. Mikey was his boo. Mikey's my wife. In his voice. Crazy, man. Stay out of prison. I implore, I beg, I plead with you. Stay the fuck out of prison, man. Because you're going to see all of these crazy things in prison, and a lot of people just overlook it because what can they do? Ain't nobody running up on Big Rufus. So when they see Big Rufus, yeah, they know he gets down the way that he gets down, but it's nothing but respect when you see him. What up, Big Rufus? OG, triple OG. You know what I mean? Strongest man in the penitentiary system, man. What's happening? OG. You know, he gets that respect from people. I'm just saying, man, I'm just on the yard, man, just trying to do my time, man. I ain't trying to bother nobody, man. I'm just, you know, you never would suspect when you hear that voice that on the other side of that voice is a gorilla, man. If you wasn't able to see his face, but you just hear the voice and he's on the other side of a wall or something of that nature, man, this dude, man, I'm telling you, man, Big Rufus. For you all that's been in the Kentucky prison systems, back in the early 2000s, late 90s, I'm quite sure that a lot of you all have heard of Big Rufus, man. So if you don't want to meet a Big Rufus, stay your ass out the joint, because there's plenty of Big Rufuses in these penitentiary systems, man. Again, a booty bandit is not always somebody that's just going to come up to you and just take it. Oh, they're going to take it, but they're going to do it in a unique way, a smooth way, a laid-back way. You don't want to meet a Fast Eddie either. They're just going to knock you out, literally knock you out. The big dude, been locked up for a long time, and he's going to have his way with you when he knocks you out. But again, we're going to tell that story a different day, a different time. Real Kens TV, man. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to hit that post notification anytime I bring you this action, this motherfucking heat. Guess what? You're amongst the first to receive, man. I'm frightened now, man. You know what I mean? Back in the day when you used to watch like the Jason movies or Michael Myers or whatever, now I'm thinking about Big Rufus, man. I hope Big Rufus just don't jump out of the closet. Well, technically he was never really in the closet, but hey, no pun intended. Real Kens TV, we out.